And I want a nice, clean fight. No hitting below the belt. Let's keep those ad homs to a minimum, and no stripping. Okay. No
I was
stripping.
about to do that.
I
That's
did just
not
get a strike
allowed.
on my channel for sex and
No.
nudity, so not
Yeah.
doing that.
All right. This is a wholesome show. All right. Confluence, when you're ready, start talking, and I will start the clock.
Okay, I just think, especially from a Western point of view, obviously culturally, holding hands between two men is just obviously gay. Like anyone would acknowledge that if you saw two people walking down the street, it would be gay. And so I think I have an easy W on that path. So I'll even extend globally. I'll do you a favor, Indian Jesus. I'll extend to the global market. I think that just from a physiological perspective of physical touch is an act of intimacy, and that intimacy begets romance very quickly. So I think two men holding hands just becomes the entrance into homoeroticism is so evident, is so clean. The pathway is just beveled for that to happen, that I just think it ends up becoming gay. Because when you have physical touch between a man and a woman, obviously everyone would admit globally, if you held hands with a woman, that would be romantic. And so I would, I guess, like to hear an argument why holding hands with a man wouldn't also be then
that's
homo romantic.
time. That's the first time you've gone over in a while.
So-
all right. Just start talking. I'll start the clock. Just start talking and I'll start the clock.
So, I completely agree with you. The prompt was not about gay men. The prompt was about holding hands, and as you said in your opening, holding hands with anyone can be or is romantic or implies that. But the prompt had nothing to do about men. It just said holding hands, and so I would just say that two men holding hands is gay, but holding hands in and of itself is not gay. You holding the hand of a woman is not gay. I can leave it there, actually. A man and a woman holding hands is not gay.
It was two men holding hands. That was a prompt. I'm sorry.
No,
thank God. Thank God.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not? Hold on.
Holding hands is gay. Look at the capital letters.
Let me pause. Hold on. Let me make sure. I was pretty sure.
I could play that. I could play that too. But
yeah. No, he did it. He skipped that part. He did.
Thank
you. A male and a woman holding hands.
There it is.
Oh my God.
He trolled you, but he didn't finish the troll. He left out the most
Oh.
important part of the troll.
I wouldn't.
You want to debate?
Okay, so I do think that holding hands implies two men holding hands implies that they're gay. But I would say that's mostly in the Western context, and then of course you opened it up and did me such a huge favor, and we see across the world that not only holding hands, but kissing on the face, little that kind of stuff, and so it just doesn't inherently mean that. If I walk down the street and see two men holding hands, I will assume that they're gay. But then we can talk about what if we have a father and an autistic son and an adult son. Then two men holding hands, that still two men holding hands, not gay. How much time do I have?
15 seconds.
I could stop there.
All right.
Give my time.
All right, guys.
Not relinquish.
He literally said too. He's like, I never said that. He trolled.
Words have meanings, baby.
That's a solid troll right there. That is solid.
Uno reverse.
Yeah, you got me. You got me. All right. 5 minutes on the clock. Just start talking, and I'll start the clock.
Okay, so you do inherently admit that at least it would imply homosexuality.
Yes.
In most people. And I feel like the fact that you have to use fringe examples, I think kind of proves my point. The exception proves the rule, that if you see two men holding hands, at least, and you even agreed, you conceded in the West that you would think that's gay. Now, what do you think of my argument that just physiologically, physical touch is tied to romance if you're physically touching somebody, right? Where's the line? Like how much you have to touch another man before it becomes gay? Obviously, it leads to homosexuality. I think the pathway is very clear on that.
I agree. And this, I never understood why this was a thing. It never happened in my groups of friends, but especially in high school. And then I wasn't in a frat, but I lived with a frat in college. And there was a lot of just like, you know, homoerotic, like, oh, bro, slapping ass and like pretending to be gay and stuff like that. And so, I mean, maybe it is meant to imply that, hey, look, we're gay because we're buddies and ha 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 ha. Again, I don't think it inherently means that. And that
you would
was
admit
the
that's a little gay, right? Like if you're in a frat and you're slapping your bro's butt and you're like, you know, kind of tugging at his ball sack a bit, that's at least a little gay, right?
So what?
At least a little bit.
So then we have to drill down into what is the threshold for something being gay.
I think being gay is anything that can be construed as romantic or sexual between two people of the same gender. And I would say that, you know, the examples you gave, the examples I gave, surely, are at least what we would call, quote unquote, gay.
So would you, hopefully this is not too big of a pivot, but if we talk about in sports where, you know, like slapping your ass after a big play or something, would you consider that in the same realm?
I don't know if I would consider it in the same realm. I mean, it's possibly slightly homoerotic. I think there's maybe a little history there, but I think holding of the hands, I mean, we have, and you would concede holding of the hands is flesh on flesh. I mean, just look at that. I mean, man, I mean, flesh against flesh. To me, I mean, that's something, if a man does that against a woman, if I hold a hand with a woman, my thoughts are automatically romantic. Would you concede that if you held the hands of someone who is the opposite gender, you'd be thinking this is a romantic and or sexual thing? So
yes,
why would we say with a guy?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because we live in an age where most of the youth are completely confused, and the only way that they have to live in the world is by their gender identity. And so, you know, depending on if you're going to call all, I don't even know all the words, but all like the polyamorous gender bender people, if that all fits in gay, then
it absolutely does, brother.
I would disagree. I think gay is specifically same-sex attraction.
So you think if someone's in a polycule, you think if Destiny's in a polycule and he's holding
so if we have Destiny,
boyfriend's hand, you don't think that's a little gay?
I do, but that doesn't mean that they are doing that. So that doesn't mean that they're doing it for that reason. You're assigning a motive to what they're doing. You and I can both agree from the outside it looks gay.
You would say it's not objectively gay.
People might say I look gay. People might say I look like a woman, but that doesn't make it true.
Wait, so you think? Are you actually conceding that? You're saying Destiny holding hands with his with his wife's boyfriend? You don't think that's objectively gay?
I do, but I am
not
the
you
arbiter.
Objectively, not what you and me subjectively think. You don't think it's objectively gay?
No.
That's crazy.
I think he is gay, and that in my personal opinion, I think that's pretty gay. Yeah, but
you don't
that
think
is
any
not
homoeroticism going on. You don't think there's any if you put like you know how they in psychological experiments they can put like little sensors on your penis to like determine arousal. You don't think if Destiny was holding hands with his wife's boyfriend, you don't think the sensors?
But you're using Destiny because you already know his sexual proclivity.
Well, no, I'm just saying you said polycule. I'm just using it as like a common example. But anyone in a polycule.
Let's take somebody who you don't know what their stuff is, and you see them, and they're two queer people. One is a man and one is a woman, and they're holding hands. Oh no, so okay, that wouldn't be it. So we have I guess I'm pretty gay.
Two queer. Yes, it's pretty gay.
I didn't prepare for the second part. I just prepared to win. I think that we are, and of course, guys, obviously, Destiny's gay is just anything.
But anyone in a polycule, two men and a woman, and
but the point I'm trying to drill down on, the point that I'm trying to drill down on is not that we can look at this and question, I don't know if that's gay. The prompt being that is gay. I don't know in any given circumstance.
Wow.
They went so differently than I did on this.
Yeah, this one I saw this going differently in my head. But
that was gay.
Well, that's because nobody saw where I was coming from, and nobody read the prompt.
Yeah, it was really funny.
I had a good time.
It was great though. That was like the best troll ever. K2, you got me, bro. You got
Got him.
Can I just be very clear
Good
real
start.
quick, though?
That's a good start.
That was for the debate. Destiny is gay as all hell.
Yeah,
Holding hands is gay. That was
yeah,
I don't want
for
that to get
sure.
twisted.
It's there's been tip to tip action with him, so yeah, he's gay. All right, so welcome back, everyone. We had somebody else.
Thank you.
Where'd they go? They run away? What happened? All right, well they'll come back.
Bye.
All right, so maybe the gay talk ran them away. I don't know. Anyway, all right, so let's start with cleaner and just go down the list. How did this go?
Well, right off the bat, Confluence had really good points. I gave him 4 for the opening. Lutch had 3 for his opening, but an extra 2 because he knew the original prompt. So he got 5 for his opening. During the meat and potatoes of it, each guy got 8 points. So Lutch got this one by 1 point overall.
Solid.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, Tyler, what do you got?
All right, so that Confluence, that warm-up definitely did you good. You came out swinging, and I feel like, other than not knowing the prompt, which, again, I gave him a couple of points for actually being the only one that read it properly, but other than that, you came out swinging, and I thought you controlled the first couple of minutes of the debate. You kind of, one of his, the exception makes the rule argument you made there was really solid. I was like, damn, he is putting the spurs to him. But then as things went on, man, he turned your shit around on you. You gave a definition of gay, and then about a minute later, you expanded it into everything that completely blew up your definition, then had to try to burn your way back. And he showed too many exceptions to the rule for me to think that it's inherently something. So I think Jesus took it by a cunt hair.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and let's hear from Anson Knowles.
Well, once again, being a visionary, I'm going to have the minority report. And it's going to be 2 points for Confluence and 1 point for Indian Jesus. And that was scored entirely on how many arguments you made in favor of your position compared to how many arguments were levied against your position. And it's you like I said, you can get negative points if you really suck. So anyway, Confluence, you won.
Membership to the Continental has been by thine own hand revoked.